And we are back with more What's Now, continuing on the topic of your health. Well, what is happening in our community with medical innovation? You might be surprised to find out that government and businesses are teaming up to help fight disease. I spoke with Kelly Anderson about this recently. Let's take a look.
You may be surprised to learn that cutting-edge medical innovation is happening right now in your own community. From coronavirus to cancer, America's innovation community is mobilized like never before. Joining us to tell the story of the private sector's role in bringing the science to life and bringing it to people is Senior Director of Health and Drug Policy at the U.S. Chamber's Global Innovation Policy Center, Kelly Anderson. Kelly, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me on today.
What type of medical innovation is happening here in our community?
Yeah, I think a lot of folks are surprised to learn that there's cutting edge medical research taking place right now in their own backyard. My mom is an OR nurse, and she even was surprised to learn about the clinical trials taking place at her own hospital. Right now, it still really feels like our daily lives are dominated by COVID-19, but the innovative scientific community is relentlessly pursuing research into the next generation of treatments and cures for a range of diseases, from coronavirus variants to different cancers to HIV/AIDS. And so, what that means is, it's your neighbors and your local businesses that are really helping to advance this critical research that's so needed to discover new treatments for some diseases where none currently exist.
And how does this medical innovation support our local economy?
Yeah, so it's really all about the jobs. There in Utah, medical innovation directly employs over 12,300 people. And while the impact of innovation starts in the lab, it certainly doesn't end there. It also supports over 33,500 more jobs across the state in sectors as varied as construction to transportation to manufacturing. So, if you look at construction, for example, pharmaceutical biotech projects support billions of dollars in infrastructure investments. And those projects employ building trades professionals, so folks like electricians or pipe fitters. And these projects pay good wages and include great benefits packages. And so that ultimately helps to build a healthier community. So that's really why the US Chamber of Commerce is so dedicated to advancing innovation. It's because of the impact on the local economy in your own state.
And how has business and government teamed up to fight disease?
Yeah, I think we saw that if the global pandemic has taught us anything, it's that working together, we really can achieve more. Over the last 18 months, these vaccines and treatments were developed at unprecedented speed because of the unprecedented levels of public-private sector collaboration. And I think, the mRNA technology behind some of the COVID-19 vaccines is a great example of that. We really saw that everybody has a role in bringing new medicine to life. And while governments and universities may invest in the initial research, the private sector helps contribute its expertise in conducting clinical trials, manufacturing the medicines, and then distributing those to the patients that need them. So, as we really look towards the next generation of medical challenges, whatever that might be, it's going to be really critical that these partnerships continue.
And what can be done to support our local innovators?
Yeah, I think we saw during the global pandemic that American innovators have done their part to really help fight it, but they can't do it alone. So we're relying on local leaders to help advance smart innovation policies. That includes things like effective intellectual property protections and making sure that innovators receive a fair value for their innovation. And nobody needs these protections more than small businesses who support 90 or 80% rather of the biopharmaceutical pipeline. So that's why the US Chamber is really hoping to work with local policymakers to advance a pro innovation agenda. Because I think if we have the right laws in place, we can make sure that the next generation of medical innovation is invented in Utah, across the country, and then exported to the world.
And where can we get more information?
Absolutely. I would encourage your viewers to visit uschamber.com to learn a bit more.
Will do. Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for speaking with us today. Really appreciate your time in this important matter. Thank you.
Thanks so much.